Imagine this. You're working on an essay due the next day, and all of a sudden, bam, your lights go out, and your computer is almost dead. What do you do? What if I told you that you could just run to the bathroom, do the number one, and use it to make a battery to charge your computer? Yeah, it sounds gross, but it's possible. Let me introduce you to the microbial fuel cell, also known as the MFC. As its name suggests, the microbial fuel cell creates fuel. However, unlike a battery, which uses chemical reactions to produce electricity, the MFC focuses on biological processes. This biological process occurs within the substrate, which can be soil, water, or anything that can sustain life. This substrate contains microbes, which perform cellular respiration, responsible for producing the electricity. Through cellular respiration, the microbes consume the sugars within the substrate and convert it into energy, ATP. Within that process, electrons are also produced, which are what the MFC capitalizes on. However, without an available source of electrons, the microbial fuel cell cannot produce electricity. Thus, the fuel cell must be set up in a way that deprives the microbes of oxygen. In a single-chamber MFC, for example, the substrate is sandwiched between two carbon nodes, an anode and a cathode, both of which are attached to wires that connect above the cell. The cathode acts as a barrier between the oxygen molecules and the substrate, effectively depriving the microbes of oxygen. As the microbes consume sugars within the substrate, they perform cellular respiration, releasing protons, electrons, and carbon dioxide as byproducts. As the positively charged protons and CO2 diffuse upwards to the negatively charged cathode, the negatively charged electrons are absorbed by the positively charged anode and travel through the wires, undergoing an oxidation-reduction reaction and releasing electrical energy in the process. As the electrons travel to the cathode, they interact with oxygen molecules and protons to form water, providing further sustenance to the microbes in the substrate. This cycle repeats as the colony of microbes grow within the cell, and as the number of microbes increases, the voltage produced by the cell also increases. So, why does the microbial fuel cell matter? Don't we already have other ways to produce electricity? Well, yes. However, because these ways depend on chemically induced reactions, they are far less eco-friendly than the biological processes of the MFC. In fact, in the US, more than 50% of air pollution comes from these power plants, as they produce toxic pollutants such as acid, mercury, and arsenic. Because MFCs depend on biological processes, they don't add to pollution. In fact, they help eliminate it. Since it depends on microbes, anything that contains microbes can produce electricity. That includes mud, compost, landfill, wastewater, and even sewage. This means that the millions of tons of waste that the world produces every single day can be turned into energy. So instead of having heaps of trash lying around, we can use MFCs to not only create an eco-friendly power source, but to make the world a cleaner, more sustainable place.